I found one. There it is, Lottie Golden, Motorcycle from 1969. Her first album, and it's fantastic. Wasn't in the slightest bit disappointed. I didn't think I would be, to be honest, because the other one was so good. But this has got the most famous track of hers on it, which is called Motorcycle, which some of you may have heard anyway. But it's a great album. Go and have a listen to it. It's available to listen to on YouTube, and it is absolutely fantastic. There is a wonderful track on here called Got a Phase, which is absolutely spellbinding. This is a great album. At the time, she was sort of being talked about in the same sort of ways as people like Laura Nyro and Melanie and Joni Mitchell and people like that. But this is far, far proggier and heavier, and it's fantastic stuff. Of course, she went on to be a kind of well-known producer later on in her career. But these first two Lottie Golden albums, if you can get hold of them, get them. They've been re-released. I think this one's been re-released anyway, because I very nearly succumbed and bought one of the re-releases, which I think has been pressed on green vinyl, and you can pick that up for about 25, 30 quid. I managed to get this original quite cheap in the end, because I think, I'm only guessing here, but I think the person thought it was slightly faulty, because in between two of the tracks there is this horrible racket that sounds like a needle being scrunched across a record, and it sort of skids to a halt and you get a lot of interference, and then it starts up into another song. And I must admit, I probably thought would think that as well, but I checked and I knew it was a deliberate part of the production process. The idea being, don't lull the listener into having an easy listen, chuck them out of their seat, and it certainly does. So I reckon there's probably a few people in the past who got hold of a copy of this album and thought they got a dodgy one, because it's an almighty racket and you do have to be prepared for it. But you know what? I was absolutely delighted to pick this up. Lottie Golden, Motorcycle from 1969. If you see one, buy one. Fantastic. The second album that I picked up is another one that I've been meaning to buy for years, and I've never got round to it. I just kept sort of like putting it off and forgetting about it. What is it? It's this. Music from the Big Pink by the band. Now, I've been meaning to get hold of a copy of this forever, simply because everything you read about Free from like 1970, around that sort of time, Andy Fraser and Paul Rodgers were apparently listening to this album constantly, and they were almost addicted to it, and a lot of people think that affected the sort of direction that they went in when it came to the Highway album, away from the Fire and Water album. So I kept meaning to get hold of a copy of it, and I finally found one. I thought, if I want to get one, I want to get an original one, and I did. I found this original one with the old gatefold sleeve and all that sort of stuff. There you go. For 20 quid, so I was quite happy about that. I've listened to it a few times. It's good. I think the problem I've got with it is the fact that I've built it up in my mind over the years that it's going to be some sort of stellar album that's going to like blow my world away. And to be fair, it didn't do that, but it is good. And it'll take a few more listens to really sink in, I suppose. But it's got some great tracks on it. I'm sure everybody knows it inside out, this. And it's got some really good tracks on it. I shall be released. Probably the most famous one on the end, I suppose. But there you go. It took me a long time to get around to getting it, but I finally did pick one up. Music from the Big Pink by the band. Now, another one that I realised I'd got missing was this. Now, when did I realise I'd got this missing? I realised I'd got this missing when I was doing my album tracks that are over 10 minutes, because I was going to put in Heard It Through the Grapevine, which is off this, which clocks in at 11 minutes and 5 seconds. And when I was doing that video, I couldn't find my copy of this album. Now, I don't know whether I've had one and it's gone walkabout, or whether I just never had one and I've heard it a lot of times and just thought I'd got it, but there isn't one around. So, presumably, it's either been borrowed or I never bought it in the first place. But I've got one there. Great album, really good. You can't beat a bit of Creedence Clearwater Revival, can you? And this is a really, really good album. An 11-minute, 5-second version of Heard It Through the Grapevine as well, which is absolutely brilliant. Next up, an album that I've already got. Why do I need to buy another one? I need to buy another one because it's this. Trapeze. Trapeze's first album, which is just called Trapeze. Now, it came out in two versions. One of them was just an ordinary envelope sleeve, which is the one I've got, or the one I had. I've still got it, obviously. But there's also this one. Well, the gatefold sleeve, that's all on the back of the other copy. And this is on, it's still got the original inner, but I've put it in a new one after I've stuck it on the old vacuum cleaner machine. You can see it's got the white label THS2, which is pretty good stuff. So, really good. So the one that I thought was an original I got, I don't think it can. It must have been like a second issue or something. But anyway, because that one has got the purple threshold label. This one now has got the white one, so I've now got an original one, even though I thought I'd got one before. There you go, with a gatefold sleeve as well. Wasn't essential, but nice part of my deep purple collection. And this is a good album. It gets overlooked by a lot of people because he's very much stuck in the 60s, whereas you go into the second and third albums, Medusa and You and the Music Leaders, the band, they've really gone into the rock world. This is still very much stuck in the 60s, but of course after this, half the band members went back off to another band to do their stuff, all that 60s type stuff, and Mel Galley, Dave Holland and Glenn Hughes remained a three-piece and went down the rock route. And we all know what happened then. So there you go. It's a great album. It's worth picking up. Don't disregard this just because it's from the late 60s and it doesn't get spoken about a lot, but it's a good album. Next one is this. Satin Chickens by Rhinoceros. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird, but I've seen this. I saw this on somebody else's channel. I can't remember who it is. So if by any chance you happen to be watching and it was you, thank you very much, and you can mention it in the comments and take the credit, take the credit for finding it for me, because it's absolutely brilliant. I saw somebody, because I can't remember who it was, talking about it. I heard a snippet of it on YouTube, so I thought I've got to get a copy of that when I see one, and I found one. The other thing that is interesting about this is there's about 72 different versions of this on Discogs. I can't find out which one this is. It doesn't appear to exist because it doesn't fit in with any of the ones they've got in there. It's obviously from back in the day because it's got the flip back cover. It's got that label, which most of the time, from what I can gather from this particular label, we use mostly for single. Electra is the label. So I haven't figured out where it is, but it's obviously pretty early from when it came out. It's only in a ordinary sleeves. I think there might be some gatefold versions around, but I'll tell you what, it's really, really good stuff. Great stuff. What we got on it? Satin Doll for 50 seconds, Monkey Man, Find My Hand, Top of the Ladder, Sugarfoot Rag, Don't Come Crying, Chicken, It's the Same Thing, In a Little Room, Funk Butt, I'm careful how you say that, and Back Door. And the people in the band, I think they were almost a bit of a sort of super group of sorts at the time. There's a bloke called John Finley on the vocals, Alan Gerber on the vocals and the piano, Danny Weiss on the guitar, Doug Hastings on the guitar, what does that say? Michael Fonfara on the organ and the piano, Peter Hodgson on the bass, and Billy Mundy on the drums. So you can tell from that it's what you're going to get. It's pretty proggy. It's got lots of organic type sounds on it. It's really good. Really enjoyable. There's a picture of me. You can just about see that on the front there. There's another album as well, which I'm going to keep my eyes open for. But yeah, this was great. Rhinoceros, Satin Chickens. Now, next up, another strange one. This fits in two categories for me. It fits in my sort of 70s rock stuff, and it also fits in my lady singer stuff. It's this. It's an album called Yancey, which is the lady's name. Now, the thing that is interesting about this, there's the front cover, there's the back cover, which you might think might make a good front cover. Now, this is a Spanish version of this album. Now, you open it up, and there's the inside. You can see that very well. But as you will notice, it's mostly in Spanish, including what I presume are the lyrics here on this bit. I presume they are. I don't know what they are or not. And you've got the titles of the tracks. Now, I knew of this album, but I'd never managed to find a copy of it. I saw this one, and I thought this is a Spanish version of it. And for some bizarre reason, I got it in my head that it was going to be in Spanish, because it is all in Spanish. It's got Karate, Haciendo Musica a por dinero. Well, if you look on the thing, the English titles are down the bottom. Southern Lady, Making Music for Money. That is the famous song. You go and have a look at that on YouTube. Honeybee, Racehorse, Roll 'em Easy, and then plus it says, and you're on the back, and on this side here, we've got Fallen Angels, Sha-la-la-la, Wake Me Up Before You Leave, and If Love Is For The Asking. And then it's got plus again, and you go back round there for that. So, all of the writing on this, on the cover, apart from that, is in Spanish, but the album, all the singing and everything, is in English. Bonkers. Celia Yancey, I think her first name's Celia. She only made this one album. Great stuff. Really good. It's a bit sort of like in your face and whatever. It's when I shut the windows, the neighbours won't like you very much because it gets quite loud at playing places. But here you go. Celia Yancey. It took me a while to pick up a copy of this. It's all nicely laminated and stuff in Spanish. I've now got to keep my eyes open for another copy. So I know what all this means because I'm not very good at Spanish. I'm going to go back even further in time now. And this is sort of 60s lady singers, and it's one of the sort of big names. This is an album that I've got a copy of, so I thought I'd better get one. And I saw one, and it was decently priced, and it's an original. And I thought, I'm having that. There you go, Nancy Sinatra, Moving with Nancy, and this has got some great tracks on it. Again, you can tell it's the original, got the old flip back on the thing. It's only a tenner, and I'm sure I've got some knocked off because I bought 2 or 3 different things. This has got all sorts of, produced by Lee Hazelwood, of course. What it is, it's all the songs taken from a TV program, or a TV show. She did a TV show in the 60s called Moving with Nancy. And you can see there the soundtrack from a television special. And it's got all sorts of people on it. Lee Hazelwood's on it doing one track. Dean Martin is on it, which is my favourite track on the album, which is called Things. And that's Nancy Sinatra and Dean Martin. That is really, really good. The other thing is, it's got a dad on it, but they're not allowed to put his name on it. Because of contractual stuff, I suppose he must have been signed to a different label or whatever. So it's got on this label, I don't know if you can see there, it's got with special guests Dean Martin, Lee Hazelwood, and a very close relative. There you go. It's really good, this. What's he got on it? Well, it's got I've Got to Get Out of This Town, Who Will Buy, Wait Till You See Him, Younger Than Springtime, Things, Some Velvet Morning, See the Little Children, Up, Up and Away, Friday's Child, Jackson, This Town, and What Did I Say? Brilliant, absolutely fantastic record. This is, there you go, I'll put it in one of those Japanese, what's it, sleeves. It's on a nice old reprise label and stuff there. Really good, clean copy. I'm absolutely delighted. So I've got all of this, and it's really good. And it's made me start thinking now, maybe I ought to go and explore the old Dean Martin catalogue, because the track on here, Things, where he's singing with it, it's really good. And I just sort of like that sort of tone of his voice. And now I'm getting older, maybe it's time to start listening to that type of stuff as well. So I'm going to go down that particular rabbit hole next, and I'm sure there's 85 million Dean Martin albums. So if anybody knows which ones I ought to go for, I seem to recall something like a little old wine drink of me or something is a good one. But let me know where I should start, or where I should look, or if there's a definitive collection, or if there's one album that's far better than all the others, and we'll see where we go from there. But there you go, Nancy Sinatra, nice laminated first pressing with a flip back cover of Moving with Nancy. I don't think it's difficult to pick up, to be honest, but it's nice to get a good clean one. Next up, we're going to move into the 70s, and another one of my slightly obscure lady singers. Well, I think she's only made 2 albums. This is a lady by the name of Rita Jean Bodine. So you can see, there she is. There's the front of her cover. That's the front of the cover. There's the back cover. What's it like? Well, it's great. It's soul, sort of jazzy, poppy, sort of funky stuff. It's really good. What have we got on it? We got Pacified, Sitting on Top of My World, Wheels, Frying Pan Song, which she all wrote herself, and then a track called It Ain't Easy by Ron Davis, of course. I Was Mistaken, another one of hers. Then Sweet Inspiration by Dewey Oldham, Knickerbocker Holiday, another one of hers. Ain't You Glad by Michael Marathon, does that say? I think it does. And do you think of her? Another Rita Jean Bodine composition. 1974 this came out, and it really is good if you like that sort of 1970s sort of funky sort of pop stuff. It's almost getting towards, it's going to go towards disco eventually, but this isn't there yet. It's still more soully and funky. Rita Jean Bodine, or Rita Jean Bodine should I say, Sitting on Top of the World. A great little album that. Now, the next one, this is interesting. This is very interesting. It's this. This is, again, from the 70s, and it's this album here. It's a lady called Ava Cherry, property of somebody other records or something. It's one of those promotional, not for sale copy type things. There's the back cover. And the front cover is looking pretty sort of like mess with me type stuff, isn't it? It's like Grace Jones or something. Anyway, why have I got this? This, would you believe, has got a cover of a Deep Purple track on it. Yep, it has. It's mid-70s, or mid to late 70s, sort of soul, funk, sort of, again, getting very close to disco type stuff. And the tracks it's got on it, or the track that it's got on it, that is a Deep Purple track, a Deep Purple cover, and it's a strange one. It's, get ready for it, bum 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 bum, This Time Around, from Come Taste the Band. Yeah, it's on here. It's amazing. It's really good as well. It's obviously different-ish. He sings it pretty close to the way the original song was. It hasn't got John Lord on it, it hasn't got Tommy Bolin on it, but it's hasn't got Ian Pace on it either. And Glenn Hughes isn't singing it, but she does a really good job of it. The rest of the album is okay. It's not bad. It's not one of those things that I'm going to go, oh, I wish I'd bought that thing for one song. It's good. It's not going to be something that I'll put on every 5 minutes, but anybody comes round or anything and they want to hear it, we'll play the whole album. It's good. I'll listen to it periodically, as I do with as much of the stuff as I can, but it's certainly a bit different. Deep Purple cover, this time around from Come Taste the Band, which was of course the first Deep Purple album I ever bought, covered by this lady, Ava Cherry, on this album, which is called Streetcar Named Desire, which is a title I'm sure you've probably heard somewhere before. Anyway, there you go. That's it. That's probably the strangest one of this little bunch, and I think we've only got one more left anyway. We have indeed only got one more left in this little section, and this is an artist who I have shown albums by before, somebody who is really good. Started off in the 60s as a bit of a sort of folk poppy singer, then went into the sort of rock side of things, and then went down the channel of the blues, really, as well as being quite a well-known actress, especially in Hammer House of Horror films. And it's this lady here, Dona Gillespie, another one of her great albums, packed more full of innuendo than a Frankie Howard and David Coverdale convention. Sweet Meat, absolutely brilliant. It's, I don't know, I sort of say it every time, she's almost like a female version of George Melly, but better, if you know what I mean. I don't know whether that's a compliment or not, but that's the best way I can describe it, because she uses all that sort of innuendo and stuff in the same sort of way that he does, but the singing is brilliant, the songs are great. Let's have a look at the title, shall we, just to give you a bit of an idea. I mean, anybody who didn't see my videos before, I mean, she's got an album which is called Blue Job, she's got this one which is called Sweet Meat. You're getting the picture, aren't you? What have we got? 300 Pounds of Joy, Sweet Pencil Thin Popper, which is absolutely classic. Fat Meat is Good Meat. Fat Sam from Birmingham, that's another absolute classic. Meat on Their Bones. Big Fat Mamas Are Back in Style Again. Then the title track, Sweet Meat. Long Lean Baby. Then Meatballs. Then Tall Skinny Popper, just so you don't think there's only pencil thin ones. There's also tall skinny ones as well. And then the thing that I always say I am at the end, Built for Comfort. Not speed, but she hasn't got not speed on the end, she's just got Built for Comfort. So there you go, Dona Gillespie, Sweet Meat. That was a later one, I think that was early 80s. I think I can't see, my eyes are not good enough, but you can tell it's into an 80s. You've got barcodes and things on the back. All these modern inventions ruin stuff, don't they? Barcodes. Well, Anyway, there you go. Another one from our Dona Gillespie collection. She has done some great albums. Some of the early stuff is really nice and folky, if you like that sort of stuff for the early ones. Then there's some really good rocky ones, and then the blues stuff is really good. Really good bluesy stuff. And I was looking up to see her live as well at the old Robin Hood in Briley Hill. Oh, crikey, it must be getting over 20 years ago. Probably even longer ago than that. Yeah, it would be longer ago than that. Thinking about it, it would be more like 25, 30 years ago. Blimey, that's a bit worrying, isn't it? Which also reminds me of something else. While I was moving some stuff around the other day, I found a little envelope full of concert tickets. It's by no means all of my concert tickets, which I thought I had got them all somewhere, but this little envelope has got a few in. So maybe we'll do an episode going through them and see how many of you are at the same gigs as me. Anyway, that's part one of what we've bought so far in 2025. The next episode will be new stuff. I managed to buy a lot of brand new, still sealed stuff. Some of it sort of 8, 9, 10 years old, but still sealed and maybe overstocked, something at ridiculously low prices. A lot of my obscure lady singers in that, so that's one for you all to look out for. And then also I'll do another episode which will be the new albums that have come out this year that I've bought, and a few reissues that have come out as well. And then finally, the fourth and final one of these I'll do is the CDs, because I went to something called the Hollowell Steam Fair and Heavy Horse Show with a couple of my neighbours a few weeks ago, and after I've been watching all the horses doing their stuff, walking around, parading and everything, I wander around all the stalls and things, and there was somebody who got a box of CDs, 50 pence each, and I managed to find about 15 or so in there. Again, they were not essential, but we'll talk about that at a later date, but they're all interesting. So that's the way we're going to do that. Thank you very much for sticking to the end. Hopefully I haven't gone on too long. I'm going to try very hard to try and not talk too much if I can, and keep these episodes as short as we possibly can and not waffle too much. Thanks to everybody, as I said before, who stayed around while I've been all away doing other stuff, busy working and whatever, and now I get a bit more time, get a few of these out and try and get things going again. So thank you very much. If you would like to be a subscriber, if you're not one, that would be good. You don't want to be, don't worry about it. It doesn't cost anybody anything, doesn't cause me any problems. If you want to leave a comment, that would be much nicer. Much rather you leave comments than subscribe. And also, if you want to whack us a like, I think that might do some good as well. But I don't like asking for those sort of things. What I really would just like you to do is make a comment and come back and watch the next one. That would make me really happy. I'll see you next time.